right, hi kids. Clearly I'm not here, so you should have your yellow notes in front of you. What I want you to do, again, like anytime we're doing online notes, make sure that you're pausing so you can write down your notes, and you're writing down everything I have on here. When you're finished with your notes and you're finished with this video, go up on to the front of the room and grab your homework. It's one page, front and back. You can check the answers to your homework on Google Classroom, as well as the homework from last night. You can check that on Google Classroom as well. So, all right, so let's get started. So here's the warm-up. It's at the top of your note sheet. You're doing these 5 problems. So I'd like you to do these 5 problems, pause the video, and then start it up when you're finished. All right, so here are the answers to the 5 warm-up problems. So the first one said graph both equations and label each. So I labeled one blue and one orange, and then I graphed each of them. Now remember, when graphing these equations like this is in y equals mx plus b form. Y equals mx plus b form. All right, when we graph, you begin at B. We begin graphing at B. So we're going to start. So with this blue line, we're going to begin down 6. So that's why I'm down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I begin. And then my slope, my slope, tells me what I'm doing. Now it's -3/2, which means I will write it like this. I'll think about it like this. -3/2. I always put the negative up in the top. So that means I'm going down 3 and to the right 2. So for my 6, I go down 1, 2, 3 and over 2. Down 1, 2, 3 over 2. And I keep going. Until there's no more points. Well, there's only one point that I can go to. So now I go reverse slope. So I go up 3, over 2, left 2, up 3, left 2. And I keep going. For the second equation, all right, it's y equals x. So there's a 1 in front of x, so that's my m, and then the b is 0, so plus 0. So I'm going to begin at 0, which I do, begin at the origin, and then I go up 1 and over 1, because we make it 1 over 1. So I go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, and you just keep going. And notice I only put a couple points on here, but you want to plot as many points as you possibly can when it's in slope-intercept form, as many as you can in both directions, okay? 3 and 4, you're just solving. 3 is pretty simple, but number 4, if you didn't get x equals 3, remember you're distributing a negative, you're distributing a -2. That's what you're distributing, a -2 to 3x and to 1. And then lastly, number 5, this is you writing an equation, which we've had a lot of practice with. So you bought a Slurpee for $1.55. Gas was $2.35 a gallon, and your total bill was $35.86. Write and solve the equation to determine how many gallons of gas you put in your car. So X is the number of gallons. So our equation should be something like this, like 155 plus, what is it, 235x equals 35.86. And then we solve that way to get 14.6 gallons of gas. And we got to make sure that we, address what we bought, so gallons of gas. All right, so that's your warm-up. Your homework is on Google Classroom, so you can check those answers on Google Classroom. You're going to want to do that. Just make sure that you graph the x and y intercepts correctly. Right? In class, we seemed like we were getting it, but make sure you check your answers. All right, there's the homework answers, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here we go. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to solve in a linear equation for y. So we're going to solve for y. All right, so we want to go back and solve using y equals mx plus b form. That's the easiest way to graph and the most prettiest way to graph. Like, your graphs are going to be perfect when you graph using y equals mx plus b's form. So we want to solve for y because we want to make our equations y equals mx plus b. And again, I'm writing with my computer, so of course it's going to look awful. But anyway, that's how we want to write our equations. We don't want to write using x-intercepts. We want to write it in y equals mx plus b form. And then we want to graph. All right. So here's for our notes. So if a linear equation is in slope-intercept form, we can graph using the y-intercept and using its slope. So again, if it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, which is the lesson the last time I was out. That was our lesson. You begin at b. This is where we start. So you start at b, begin at b. Okay, so you start with the b, and then this is the second thing you do is you graph the slope. That's the second thing you do. You'll graph the slope and you'll say, all right, well, I rise and run and do everything. But what happens if we don't have it in slope-intercept form? If you don't have it in slope-intercept form, we need to get it into slope-intercept form. Get it in y equals mx plus b form. So here we go. So to get it into y equals mx plus b, we want to get y alone. That's what it means. Solve for y. Solve for y means get y alone. That's all you're doing today. Today's lesson is get y alone. Come on, computer, let's go. And that word was alone, and it got messed up. Anyway, alone. All right, get it alone. Get it all by itself. So, in this problem, 3x plus y equals 22. We want to get y alone. So we need to first move this 3x. So it's going to feel a little different at first, but then it'll make sense. So we're going to subtract 3x. Okay, we're going to subtract 3x here, minus 3x on both sides. So that goes away. So we get y equals. Now, I always put my x first. So even though it's going to look like you want to do 22 minus 3x, I'm going to do minus 3x plus 22. That's how I'm going to want to write that, because now this is written in y equals mx plus b form. It's already written like that. All right. Number two, I want to get y alone. I want to get this y alone. So what's happening to the y? It's being subtracted by 5x. So I got to add 5x to both sides. So bam, that cancels out. So over here, all right, I'm going to get 5x plus 14 equals y. And again, it's almost written in y equals mx plus b form, y, and then over here, mx plus b. So that's allowing me to graph. All right. Let's keep going. So now look over here. Again, we want to solve for y. All right. Now look, this 4y is a y right now. So we start by subtracting 8x. So we got to move that 8x. All right, so the 8x goes away. So we're left with negative 4y equals negative 8x plus 12. We always want to put the x first. We always want to do that. Now, take a look over here. Unlike the last two problems, our y is not alone. Our y is not alone. We have this negative 4 that is attached to the y. So we need to get this negative 4 to go away, so we're going to have to divide by negative 4. So I'm going to divide everything, each part, by negative 4. Everything gets divided by negative 4. All right, so we're going to get y equals, what the heck? Why is it doing that? All right, whatever. You're going to get y equals, all right, negative 8x divided by negative 4 is positive 2x. And then 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So that's your graph. Y equals mx plus b. Well, in this case, it's minus b. All right. So here we go. Number 4. So again, we have 20y. So we're going to start by subtracting 3x first. So subtract 3x. So you're going to get 20y equals negative 3x plus 20. All right. Then we divide by 20. Everything's going to get divided by 20. Everything gets divided by 20. All right. So we get y equals. Now, negative 3x divided by 20. We do not want to turn that into a fraction or into a decimal. We're leaving it as negative 3 over 20x. That's your slope. That's fine. Slopes are awesome as fractions. So leave it as that. And then 20 over 20 is plus 1. So again, the whole point is to get it to look like y equals, really, my computer is the worst computer in the freaking world. Of course. Whatever. Negative 3 over 20 x plus 1. All right. So here we go. Now, I'm only going to do a few of these because clearly my computer's getting all messed up right now. But anyway, all right, we have to get these into y equals mx plus b form to graph, because that's what we want to do. We want to graph these things. So in this first number 5, this number 5 equation, we're going to have to subtract 7. So subtract 7. So we get y equals, so that cancels out. So y equals 3x minus 7. You always want your x to come first. So, all right, we got y equals mx plus b. All right, so the rule is you begin at b. We begin at b, so we're going to begin down 7 from the origin. So there's our first point. And then we do our slope, which is 3, or 3 over 1. So that means we're going to go up 3 and to the right 1. So from our 7, we go up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Now, the line looks pretty good, but we can still fill out points on this side by going, instead of up 3 over 1, down 3, left 1. And then create your line and put your arrow. See that? So that's the whole point of today's lesson, is doing this, is getting it into y equals mx plus b form. So let's try another one. Ready? Number 6. All right, so y is not alone. So we got to get rid of this negative 2x. So we're going to add 2x. So we add 2x. So we get y equals 2x minus 10. So again, I write y equals mx plus b underneath. I begin at b. I'm going to start down 10. So I'm going to start down 10 on the y-axis. And then my slope is 2 over 1. So it means up 2 and to the right 1. All right. So from 10, I go up 2, right 1, 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 up 2, right 1. Look at this. So there's our line. We need to make sure that it extends in both directions. All right. Number 7. So again, sometimes it's not going to look as nice or easy, so we got to get our y alone. Now our y is negative 4y. So we have to first get rid of this 5x by subtracting 5x. A lot of kids are going to be like, oh, that negative sign belongs to the 5x. It doesn't. The negative belongs to the 4y. So that's why I circle it, so I don't do anything with that. All right, so I'm going to subtract negative 5x. So what is this? Why is that doing that? this computer. All right, subtract 5x, subtract 5x. So that's going to cancel out, so you get negative 4y equals negative 5x plus 8. That's a negative 5x. All right, so now we have to divide by negative 4. And everything's got to divide by negative 4 here. Everything's got to divide by negative 4. So the negative 4's cancel out, so we get y equals, now, negative 5 divided by negative 4 is positive 5 over 4x. And then 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. So that means we're going to begin at negative 2. So we're going to begin down 2. And then our slope is 5 over 4. Now they're positive, so that means we're going to go up 5 and right 4. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 4. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 4. And there's no more I can get. So I go back to my y-intercept and I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1, 2, 3, 4. And there we go. There's our line. And that's what we're doing today. All right, that is what we're doing today. All right, so what I'm going to want you to do is I want you to work on the rest of these. Okay, actually, let's try number 5 because this one's a little funky. Or number 9. Let's do number 9 right here. Don't worry about number 8 right now. Don't worry about that. I'll deal with that one later with you. All right, but number 9. We want to get y alone. So here we just divide by negative 5. All right, divide by negative 5. So we get y equals 2 over negative 5. Now watch what I do here. I'm going to make the 2 negative. I'm going to go negative 2 over 5x. See that? I just move the negative to the top, and you'll see why in a second. So I can graph this y is alone. So I go y equals mx plus b. Now, if you look here, is there a b? No. So that means plus 0. So that means I'm going to start at the origin at 0, 0. And now my slope is negative 2 over 5. So that means I go down 2 and right 5. So down 2, right 5. Down 2, right 5. And then we go up 2 and left 5, up 2 and left 5. And there's our line. All right, so I wanted to show you that one only because there's no b, and all you had to do was just divide there, okay? So I'd like you to keep working on the rest of these problems, all right? The answers to this will be on Google Classroom. So you need to check this when you're finished, all right? You are going to go and start working on your homework and check those answers on Google Classroom as well, all right? Have a great day. Be good to the sub.